History is what to you?
Lessons.
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 Cruel.
History is violent.
History is sadness.
Lies.
History is gold.
Important.
Balance.
Interesting.
History is cool.
It's about learning humility.
Knowledge.
Knowledge.
It's all about perspective.
History changes depending on who's telling the story.
Viewpoint.
Intriguing.
Accurate.
History means the past.
That colors our present and our futures.
History is life.
For me, is crucial.
Crucial.
Designed.
A series of connected events.
Fascinating.
Ancestors.
Word culture.
Culture.
Is accomplishment.
Multifaceted.
Repeatable.
A collection.
A story.
There have been many things told to you in history class. Can you name something that's been inaccurate?
I was taught Sacagawea and Pocahontas were the same person.
That Columbus discovered America.
In America, and Christopher Columbus discovered America in 1492.
Christopher Columbus never discovered America.
That German once almost became the official language of the United States.
Can you name some more?
About westward expansion and manifest destiny, but we failed to recall or record those destinies that we destroyed in the process.
The U.S. lost Vietnam because of the liberal media.
The Confederacy stood for states' rights. When the evidence overwhelmingly says that it's about slavery, it was about protecting the economic system and white supremacy.
I've ever been taught was that the Emancipation Proclamation freed all the slaves.
The United States had done nothing to provoke the Pearl Harbor attacks that occurred December 7th, 1941, and that's just not true.
You've heard some more untruths, as it were, and I'm sure some of those are surprising, some of those maybe not. But it speaks to a larger issue that we have. I was talking to a friend, and my friend said to me that he didn't like the question when it was presented to him because you don't know for sure what's the truth, what you can ascertain, what you cannot. There's a certain level of truth in what he said, but here's the thing. When we understand that things are written with a certain veneer, with a certain bias, then that's what the problem is. For instance, going back to Pearl Harbor, if you look at it from the perspective of Americans who don't know their history, you would think that. But again, it wasn't the case. Like if you look at what my mother said, the Emancipation Proclamation freed all the slaves, but it didn't. A little deep diving, a little digging can tell you everything you need to know. And that's the purpose of this channel. The purpose of this channel is to explore history, talk about history, make it fun. History is something I love. History is my passion. When I asked that question to people prior, history is what to you? History to me is everything. It tells us where we were, where we are, where we can be if we don't learn lessons of the past. It tells us of stories, of people, of places, of things. Honestly, some of these things that they discuss and the things that I've covered so far, sometimes are stranger than fiction or any story somebody can invent. These things, these people, these places, these were real things for the most part that we can substantiate. And for me, my saying has always been, and we'll go back to this all the time, that no matter who you are, no matter what you do, no matter where you are history. Okay? I am history. I may not get a book written about me. It may not be a Wikipedia article or Encyclopedia Britannica article, but you are history. These people in these books, I'm sure some of them did strive to make the history books, but most didn't. They were normal people. They had normal feelings. They had normal clothes. They had normal friends. They had normal lives, and something extraordinary happened for them or to them, or they did something extraordinary that they may have thought was actually ordinary. They felt fear. They felt happiness. They felt sadness. They felt everything that we feel. We have to make that connection to it. So history to me is all encompassing. It covers law, physics, politics, philosophy, civics, social studies, social sciences, economics, all of that. Hell, biology. If you're a biologist, if you study evolutionary biology, history is that too. It's the story of where we came from 14 billion years ago, that's what you believe, to now. If you're our creationist, it covers where we went from the days of Adam and Eve to now. History is in everything. History is even in math, the Pythagorean theorem, all these things that were invented due to the Greeks. And we learned about these things in a way that we think that history just is not important, or history is boring, or history just is not present. But history is everywhere. History is everything. It's probably the most important subject that you could ever learn, barring maybe grammar. Maybe, not really. So the purpose of this channel is to correct some falsehoods, is to present history in as honest and unbiased way as possible, as well as making it funny. But before we part, I want to hear what else people have to say about what they've been taught in history that was inaccurate. So let's see what they have to say.
The Wright brothers flew an airplane in December 1903. They were always thought to be the first to fly an aircraft. However, in August 1901, Santos Dumont flew around the Eiffel Tower.
American Indians were all bloodthirsty murderers, and innocent settlers were moving out west and setting up homesteads, and these Indians would come by and scalp and butcher them. So the American soldiers had to come in and save the American settlers.
By not having been taught about the First Nations or the many indigenous nations throughout the Americas, we're perpetrating this active erasure of their kind. It's a genocidal process.
There it is, friends. So we've heard mistruths, untruths, even omissions. So join me in getting these truths out. Join me in helping the omitted be remitted. Help me and join me into showing the world that history can be fun, can be informative, and it can be honest. Because why? History is honest. But if we do not do our due diligence, if we don't do our homework, then we are bound to repeat the mistakes we made before in the past. And people will just view these as nothing more than boring stories instead of lessons we can learn from. So, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my world. Welcome to the Michaeldom. And guess what? Your stories, they will be told, and they will be told right. So, let's get into it.